Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. I already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. And tonight we got ourselves a great topic. It's always an honor and pleasure to come speak with the people. You already know what it is, man. The NFL football season is in full swing. We got a lot of games to break down tonight on this busy Sunday. Big time game tomorrow as well. Monday Night Football can't get any better. I'm actually looking forward to those Jets, if you know what I mean. But we got to get into, of course, what's going on with Colorado. It was an unbelievable outing by the Buffaloes. They continue to just shock the world. Everybody is just descended upon Boulder. And it's off the back of Coach Prime Deion Sanders. This man is a complete, utter genius, and it's nothing nobody can do about it. Shout out my man DJ Gemini in the chat. All y'all that's in the building rocking with Flight Sports TV. Obviously, before the game yesterday with Colorado, they was ranked number 22, and then all of a sudden now they have completely rose the rankings. You know, they are now at 18, as we can see. It seems like before you know it, they're going to be at number 1. The more and more they can do it, they ain't going to be it's like the more of the roadblocks they put in front of Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, it seems like the more and more roadblocks that they're going to break apart and knock down. And that's what they've done. And give them major props. And then you got Shedeur Sanders and all of these guys. Shedeur Sanders, man, I'm about ready to say he is the best quarterback, college quarterback in the country. Now, I understand that we got my man out of USC and he's being compared to Mahomes. What happens if Colorado goes and carves up USC, you know, with Mr. Caleb Williams? What happens then? You know, it seems like we're going to continue to try to discredit the Buffaloes to figure out how we can lessen the blow that they are putting on sports. You know, just to say football, I think is egregious. You know, Coach Prime and the Buffaloes are putting a hurting on sports right now. They got it in the chokehold. Everything is coming through Colorado. You know, everybody hands, like I said, they have pretty much the sports world in the palm of their hands. And Deion Sanders seems like he continues to one-up himself. And like I said, they're going for the national title this year. Now, are they going to win it is a whole nother topic. But are they going for it? Yes. They are playing with immense confidence. I don't think anybody can sit up here and look at Deion Sanders or say he's not arguably the best coach in the country. You know, if not the world, especially if this ride continues. If he was to win a national title in his first year, he might go down as the greatest of all time in any sport. I mean, because that would just be crazy if he pulled that off. Now, I know that's a long shot. I understand they taking it one game at a time. They're not skipping no steps. But everything with Colorado seems to be calculated. It seems like Coach Prime visioned all of this, and everything is coming the way that Coach Prime said it was going to happen. And as you can see, it's happening. The Buffaloes are winning. Could you imagine all the sports media and these people who claim they rock with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders? They would have loved to have seen the situation where Coach Prime was struggling and losing his footing with the team, and it just didn't get off to a smooth start. But clearly, everything is moving correctly. Now, I believe they're going to beat Colorado State. They're going to knock out a couple of teams. They're going to beat Oregon. They're going to beat USC. That Oregon matchup going to be crazy because it's actually in Oregon. And I think that if Deion Sanders, Shedeur and company knock them out, it's over. Somebody says a 40-burger Cowboys smoking the Giants. I'm through with the Giants. The Giants been trash. I'm from New York, and like I said, it seems like everybody wants to hold on to what the Giants used to be. With Eli and company. Truth be told, the way everybody dogged out Eli, the way they dogged out Odell, shit, the Giants ain't been shit since Odell left. And I think that's something that people need to really acknowledge. They tried to make Odell like he was the bad guy, he was the monster. But Odell was just being professional. He wanted to win, as you can see. What has he done ever since he left? Now he went to Cleveland, and that wasn't by his choosing. They sent him there, and then even when he got to Cleveland, he did say that, hey, man, they sent him here to basically wither away, and that obviously didn't happen. And Odell is out now with an opportunity to win another championship, Super Bowl, because I think that with this team right now with the Baltimore Ravens, everybody's focused, everybody's locked in. And obviously you have Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's 100% healthy either. I think that obviously he ain't going to make no excuses. But I think that his game is going to continue to elevate as the season goes along. I like how he was connecting with Odell Beckham Jr., making sure that Odell is happy. It is what it is at the end of the day. He knows his division too. Remember, he played for Cleveland. So I think that he has a pathway of winning this whole situation. Shout out Newmark. His Buffs going 7-0 to start the season. Listen, I think if they do that, I think that's spectacular. Now, are they going to win them all? Who knows? But I hope that when they do experience some adversity, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, I hope that fans could still hold it down, for them as well. And I don't think one loss is going to derail them. Most people who are on this Cinderella run that the Buffaloes are on, once they just suffer a setback, is all she wrote. I think that with Coach Prime, Shedeur, and all of the players that's in the ranks, they have a world-class personnel all over, from coaches to players. Most of these guys know they going to the NFL. Hell, they not derailing, but they delaying their opportunity to get there. You look at Travis, the way he was moving around, clearly his restrictions on him. He need to be in the NFL today. He's that kind of talent, but that's not the case. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Newmark says injuries may catch up with them by UCLA. Well, let's hope that that's not the case. We all know injuries is a part of the game. Let's hope that nobody gets taken out the game to the point where they can't return rather quickly. The last thing we want is a situation where, Colorado is shorthanded, because everything is just seeming like it's so aligned for them. Everybody is so happy and excited. Did you see all the celebrities that was there? I think that is truly telling. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, continues to show his star power that he is he's the most popular coach, in the world, number one. And all of these so-called NFL people, even through the college ranks, these college coaches, they feeling the pressure of Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, how he just came here and wrecked the joint. And I mean that in a good way. Coach Prime is not only dominating, but dominating and he talking trash at the same time. I think that's something that a lot of people are not truly paying attention to. He's basically rubbing it in on all his haters and seizing every opportunity as he gets it. But nonetheless, man, the game yesterday against Nebraska was an unbelievable encounter. Um, that did you see that crowd? Did you see that atmosphere? I think that's truly just the beginning. You had fans waiting outside, tailgating. It was a movie. You know, Pardon me. You don't see Colorado. Obviously before Deion got there, the excitement level wasn't to where it's at today. And Coach Prime is showing his impact. I don't know how coaches were slow to, his defense in terms of getting him. If Coach Prime wanted the job in some of these schools, they should have just handed it to him. I think that's what he's establishing for himself right now, that he will be in a situation where he's going to be able to get anything that comes his way because he's a winner. You can't teach winning. And that's something that Coach Prime is embodying, and along with all of his players. And I think he's going to continue to prove everybody wrong. What everybody believes is all for Shedeur. It's all for his kids. But I think that Deion Sanders plans on being around for the long haul. In my humble opinion, he says things get real when they play the Ducks in Alton Stadium in Oregon, then go home and play the Trojans. If they can win one or two, they'll be. What if they win both? Let me tell you right now, Deion Sanders going for both. And you see Colorado rising and rising and rising. I want to know where they rank going to be when they actually beat them. I think that's going to be unbelievable and exciting to figure out where Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes will land once they knock out some of these top teams. Now I know a lot of people might think what I'm saying is some big joke or something like that. But Coach Prime, I'm telling you, where they're gonna be ranked, they're gonna be definitely be in the top 10. I think they're gonna be like, close, especially as the season rises. And I just want to see the matchups, Travis and Shedeur and some of these other guys in these different positions. I want to see where do they stand once all the firepower is in position. I want to see how Shedeur carves up Oregon. I want to see how Shedeur go toe-to-toe with Caleb Williams. These are the games I want to see. I got my man DJ Gemini from the 504. Was good.
Wow, what's happening with it, Shake? What's good with it?
I can't call it, man. What's your thoughts on these topics, man? You see what's going on with Colorado. Let's talk football.
Man, a lot of the schools do honestly did not like his personality, and they will not let the power go so he could have his freedom. That's why a lot of schools did not pick him up. Then
But I
how
mean, shame on them, Gemini.
yeah, I mean that's the main reason why I'm not tripping. He literally for a AD to not understand that gold jacket plus his personality means something. I mean that gold jacket, he out hustled in 5 months what would take the average college coach 2 years to 3 years to do. He did it in 5 months. Yes, there was a lot of not giving pink slips, but giving people the opportunity to leave before they got their pink slip. But still, it normally take college coaches 2 to 3 years. That wide receiver room, that's spectacular. 4.34 average speed across the board. They're still missing their 6'4" wide receiver. He hasn't even played. Mac hasn't played. They haven't really structured the running back game the way that I would like to see, but that's neither here nor there. Um, yes, it's going to be fine tuning, but these guys are just getting together. How many how many college coaches we know that took a 1-11 team the very next season is 2-0 with what with the I think it's top three quarterback in the nation who's also a transfer. I'm not even looking at it that that's his son. He's also a transfer. Now, the few positions that he know he need to bulk up on, I didn't think he was gonna knock it out the park the first year. But what this man has accomplished in 5 months to bring the very next season, come on, man. This spectacular. This stupendous.
Yeah, there's no other way to slice it, Gemini. How good is Shedeur Sanders? Because I think it's time to get serious right now.
With this offensive line, it I think he can end very close in the Heisman race because right now he's only I think one is 76.86
He
and
keeps going up.
yeah, like the numbers are close between 1 and 2 right now. When analysts literally didn't even have him as a top 10 quarterback in the nation. And I know they have him at second, but I'm being humble with saying 1 through 3. We're having a top three quarterback in the nation. Now this the same offensive line. Everybody was saying that was too small. They're not gonna be able to do nothing. They're gonna get ran over. What y'all gotta say now? Because nobody on Nebraska small.
Nobody.
Nobody on TCU is small. In fact, TCU is one of the biggest teams, and I got to give it to Texas. Texas is known for having big players. That was a W. Nebraska, Matt Rule talked all that jazz, made it very personal. That's a W. Notice Oregon haven't said nothing, Utah haven't said nothing. Like all the schools that or the rest of the schools that are top ranked, they haven't said a word. That should show you right there. They see something, and all the weapons are not being used right now on offense. Now, I will say this: I am a little concerned with all the snaps that Travis is taking, but that's me as a player, and I don't want to see him overexert himself. But I mean, other than for that, Weaver stepped out of nowhere. I say nowhere as far as how analysts looked at them, but Gaines still haven't played. Max still haven't played. Like there's a bulk of players that still haven't played yet, wide receivers or running backs. So the running back game isn't totally there. Hell, Charlie didn't even really have a chance to go off yet, and that's the walk on. So if he see talent and he think he could use you, he's gonna use you, and I like that he took that from Jerry Jones. I enjoy that about him. I know where he got that from. What you got, Flight?
No, I liked everything that you said. I mean, you said a lot of great statements. Like I said, I'm just like still stuck on Shador, all his greatness. I think he's like truly the beginning. I think that he was discredited for all the things he did and the swag. And I like now that he's just showing everybody I think that he's bringing more attention to HBCUs. I think Colorado is. At the end of the day, they got to always remember. Also, this talent was at an HBCU annihilating. I think that it just brings more attention to HBCUs, don't you think?
It does, and that's why I was so heartbroken with the Jackson State fandom that turned it when they turned their back on the man. Like that's the part that broke my heart because this is the with the talent pool that he brought to Jackson State. Jackson State was light years ahead of everybody else in the HBCU landscape. Now that he moved everything to CU, oh, it's a problem. But it's still highlighting because when he gave his camps, notice every HBCU wanted it at their um institution. The Morehouse one he couldn't get to, but that was because of surgery. And it so I don't know if it was a scheduling conflict there, but the one at Prairie View, the like the other two, then he had like how many college coaches we honestly know have camps for JUCO in different parts of the country? Like honestly, have a camp and say maybe I can find a diamond in the rough and actually get the sponsors to pay for it. He didn't even have to pay for it out of his pocket. He got the sponsors to pay for it. So does this bring light on HBCUs? Yes. Not just on the coaching side, but the player side too. Because I think it's like 6 to 8 players directly came from JSU. And that's just JSU. And I think he had like 4 other players that came from HBCUs. But that's showing the nation that we do have talent within our HBCUs. The problem is we're getting beat on the money, so we can't be standing toe to toe with those PWIs, if that kind of makes sense. Because building a field and stands is easy. Now, I didn't say a stadium, I said stands. And the, you could build up to the foundation of the stadium, but HBCU stadiums are starting to look tight like a mud if you really pay attention to them, especially the one at Prairie View. That thing, man, that thing look bananas, and you'll never think that school is there if you would pass by it. But that football field is nice. So
So, you talking about Folsom Field?
yes,
Yeah, that whole stadium was crazy. What'd you think of the atmosphere? Like, it was wild.
yeah, I mean the like Colorado honestly did not have this type of energy at all last year, like at all. Now I will say this: I have I have one concern. I do, and it's with my Snow King Woods. I don't know if it's time to bench him or is if he's like concerned that his replacement is there. Is something going on with his game? He not playing up to snuff. But even with that, he did pull out that interception when it was needed, even though most people would say it was garbage time. So he did make up for his total play, but this electric environment has not was never there last season. Even with the game that they won, it was still not there. It hasn't been like this in Colorado, honestly. Damn, Stewart. I want to say Stewart was the quarterback. I mean, the ticket sales, yeah, but half of those they was given to the students and and trying to get the students to be there. No, now you got family members fighting the students for them tickets, like damn near. Like, no, I'm going to the game. I pay your tuition. I'm going. You ain't going. So it's just bananas, bro. I'm just sitting back enjoying what the energy injection that he is giving to college football. A lot of us that normally follow the pros that don't even follow college, like me, I'll be honest to everybody. I don't normally follow college. I follow HBCUs, but the people look at us differently, like it's not college. So the for the hard football fanatics, just for the pros, they're even following Colorado. Not just the haters. I'm talking about the ones who just want to see how far is this season gonna go, especially when Vegas had the bet that they would only win 4 games. No, I'm sorry, 3 to 4 games, and we already had 2 wins. I originally had it down as a bowl year, but with the incitement of the stadium, man, that Buffalo gonna be running a lot this season. Ralphie, Ralphie gonna be running a lot, boy.
Ralphie.
Yeah, that's the Buffalo name.
I
He
know.
gonna be running a lot.
Are they gonna be? Are they gonna win the next game?
I think they are. I
Uh,
I I think it's gonna be a shootout, but
College game day gonna be there for that game.
yeah, I honestly think it's gonna be a shootout. But I think I'm gonna give them that edge around the end of the third to kind of squeak through, if that makes sense. Like for them about the end of that third to finally take the lead. Because you really have to think. We have Freely for the long kicks. We have the other guy for the shorter kicks, and both of them are bullseyes. So they don't normally miss kicks. And I I think by next game, that 6'4" Galvatron wide receiver, Megatron, Galvatron, however you want to say it, wide receiver should be playing. Mac, the NCAA should be done playing around with Mac so he could finally hit the field. Cause right now I think they do not. Well, they have it, but I don't think they're using the right sets with Wilk. Um, I think the sets need to be different for him to be their third and fourth down back. Because Edwards wasn't supposed to be the starter; it was supposed to be Mac. So at this point, I'm just ready to see all these weapons. I'm sorry. I'm just ready to see all these weapons. I'm ready to just really watch them light up the scoreboard and really show the NCAA what they've been holding back.
So is Shedeur Sanders keep this up? Is he a top 10 pick?
I don't know if he'll leave. That's the thing. If if he keeps this up, I think he's a top 10 pick. The overall question is,
You
I
think he's
don't,
gonna stay another
I
year?
huh?
He's gonna stay another year.
I think is I think he's gonna stay another year, but it also depends on this number one quarterback prospect that is supposed to be visiting. He then already booked his visit for the USC game. So He's the number one quarterback in the nation, and he already booked his visit for the USC game. So it may depend on that too. I just personally think he don't want to leave his dad high and dry when it comes to the quarterback position, if that kind of makes sense. Top 10, yes. I know he's gonna go to a sad team. I just don't hope that team be too sad.
I mean, I mean, you got to understand something. That happens to everybody. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, so
Yeah,
it's-
but okay, the
when
Bengals.
Joe Burrow when Joe Burrow was going to the Bengals, they was making it seem like he didn't want to go. They was like he might as well go back to college. If I'm Joe Burrow, come back for another year, ask for a trade, pull a Eli, you know,
No,
all that shit.
well, the thing with Joe was the he looked at the GM and the organization as a whole. They're not a free agent destination for number one. For number two, with number one problem, it's hard for you to build a winner. But if you looked at what all they drafted that year, they drafted so well. The only person that and I'm still trying to figure out why they didn't play the boy from Washington. Because he was in that same draft class. They drafted him, but did not play him, and that's one of the fastest people on the line. Power, speed, technique, everything. But they didn't play that young man. So he looked at them as a whole. Hell, I would evaluate it the same too. Man, I don't think y'all ready to build for a winner. I don't think y'all ready for me.
Right.
But
Shout out, my man. All Access was good, Dax.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Flight? What's going on, everybody?
Not
Salute
what's
to
up,
the
much.
D?
stream.
Not much. We're here talking a little bit of Colorado. We was discussing a little NFL. Gemini was talking about maybe like if Shedeur going to a trash team and things of that nature when he eventually goes to the NFL. And I was telling him like the same thing they said about Burrow. You see what happened with him. They went to the Super Bowl. You see what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. You know, when he was going to Jacksonville, they made it seem like it was some rumblings with that. Clearly, you know, whatever he goes to a trash team, he turned the shit around. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we just can't put the carriage before the horse just yet. We don't know if teams going to trade up. I mean, we forecasting a little too far in the future. It's like 16 more weeks of NFL football and at least 14 weeks of college football. So it's a lot of college football to be played before we just really jump ahead. Right now, I believe Colorado have to focus on Colorado State. It's an in-state rivalry. Those games always seem to you
Be
know
close. Be
be
close.
close and competitive and things of that nature. And I'm quite sure Colorado State down in Colorado Springs they just lying in wait for the Buffaloes, so it's just a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And Coach Prime has his team on top of the college landscape. We've seen what happened with Alabama and Nick Saban and those people down there with Roll Tide in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You just can't put the carriage before the horse. That's all I'm saying. And before we get out there in space with double S, Shedeur Sanders, let him enjoy his college tenure first before we start placing him in the NFL and what teams and things of that nature. And we get so far ahead of ourselves playing hopscotch that we don't draw the most out of this college experience with the Colorado Buffaloes taking the college football landscape by storm.
That wasn't what we was doing, Dex. We was basically saying with him being right now a top three quarterback, like would he be possibly a top 10? And my answer to that was literally, I don't think he'll leave his dad like that.
I just think you need a more body of work. You can't just go that high that soon. He only have 2 games under his belt in a Power Five conference, where you have Drake, you have Penix Jr., you have Bo Nix, and you definitely have Caleb, and now you got the quarterback over here in Texas that's jumping up the ranks. So it's and they just beat Alabama. So Texas is ranked number 4. Colorado is ranked number what, 18. So
Yes.
it's just a lot of football left. That's all I'm saying. And we can't just get too ahead of ourselves. I think we should soak up the moment, and why Colorado is going into their third game playing an in-state rivalry. We should focus and take everything out of that instead of moving or stretching the yarn too far into the future.
I'm but I'm basing it on both levels of competition. From the HBCU realm, then the D1 realm. Like
Well, I,
he
I honestly, Jim and I don't think they really focus on no HBCU right now. His work in the HBCU, that was one thing, but his work in
mhm,
the Power Five, that was opened up the eyes, because the HBCU, if he would have stayed in that realm, if we want to go back to the past, if he would have stayed in that realm, I still think they would have found a reason, right? Or maybe an excuse. I wouldn't say too much of a reason, because he is who he is, no matter what level he playing at. They would have found an
mhm.
excuse to diminish or lessen some of the work that he have done in the HBCU. Um, and they always try to relegate that to a lesser form of competition. The people that I'm talking about that do that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So so now that he's doing it in the Power Five, this is why Dion is so brash and crass in his forwardness, and so prominent in his optimism for Shedeur, is because he knows. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're working with Tom Brady, if you're working with um, Russell, then you're working with 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks. So you're working with
Hey,
quarterbacks who have won at the highest of level. So whatever they gave unto him to move forward in competition, he's not going to lose that. That's like having education. You don't lose your education. You follow me? You
right.
might forget some of it depending on you get up in age, but you don't. That's something you don't lose. When you know, you know. So Sador, in his form right now, he is so focused on getting the job done in a Colorado Buffalo uniform. And he says it all the time. When Deion gave his take it personal speech and that prep rally, and then Sador took it to the next level, and Deion tried to pull him back, and he was like, "Dad, it's personal." Basically, like, "Nigga, you the one said it's personal. So now that I'm full fledged with it, don't put no bridle on my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold me back. Don't jockey my back." And Dion said he just had to laugh because it was so real. Like, man, this guy is really immersed in this experience.
Matt took that too far, boy. Matt took that way too far. Matt kept that man in his mouth every interview. I thought he was trying to get a date with him. So I did what you're saying. I'm just basing it on. the whole body of work that have seen with Shedeur, like that's what I'm basing it on. So overall, do I think he can possibly be a top 10 pick? Yeah, I I just I just would mm, I just would like to see all the pieces of the offense on the field right now. The NCAA is playing games with them with availability and who can play, who's cleared to play, who's not cleared to play. Because Mac's still not cleared to play yet. And the funny thing about it, he cleared to practice, but not cleared to actually playing a game, like and start taking hits. I mean, that's starting to get ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, and so you got you got all the stars aligned up for him to excel without limits. Because right now, as we speak, the Pac 12 is the most competitive conference from top to bottom in NCAA collegiate football. The Pac 12 normally don't be that high up. They normally be maybe around three because you have the SEC, then you have the Big Ten, and then you have the Pac 12, right?
Hmm.
So now it's flipped. Dion has entered the conversation. Colorado Buffaloes have entered the conversation. And not only have they entered the conversation for positive dialogue, there is some salacious discord about the Colorado Buffaloes and the way they proceeded into building this new standard of program that looks like it's going to be the model for the NCAA moving forward. Now, everybody can't pull that off because everybody's not Dion, but there's going to be other coaches that's going to use the most influential aspect of their program to try to do as much as Dion did or to some degree. Now, when you look at the success that Colorado is having so soon, there's people that's in coaching that's not celebrating Dion. There's people that's in AD positions, athletic directors, that's not celebrating Colorado just yet. But just like how Tiger Woods come in, right? Just like how
Hmm.
Michael Jordan come in, right? Just how these people, individual people come in and flip the whole uh I don't want to say the wrong word here, but paradigm. I'm gonna use that word. Paradigm. We all know paradigm is basically a consensus narrative that is shared and accepted by the majority. That's basically what a paradigm is. So they come in to flip this paradigm. And the old money that has been permeating college football or collegiate sports gonna have to
Hmm.
make a big adjustment. And it also give rise to new money and new thoughts and new ideas and new refreshing programs to be ushered forth because Dion is showing you another way to be successful. And that's what old money hates. They hate you to show a new way before they're ready for that new way because it forces them to move faster in one direction than they want to. So they
No,
can
can
hover.
no. I have to interject on that. It's it's more of if you come with something new and they haven't figured out a way how to profit off of it, That's their problem. If they don't
That's
know how to
exactly what I
profit
just
off
said.
of you, okay,
That's the adjustment
okay,
I'm talking about.
okay.
Yeah, because when you're dealing with old money, all they worry about is money. You know what I'm saying? They don't worry about fairness or anything to that nature. They just worry about how they can constantly patent their coffer. So I didn't say it directly like that, but I just use adjustment to cover, all angles. But yeah, to be more specific, yeah, until they figure out a way how they can use their financial wealth to circumvent the movement, then they're satisfied. Then they want everybody else to get in alignment. Yeah, that's Dion is the way. He's the guy. He's the guy. But until then, they're going to try to find other people to speak out against it to be the buffer until they get ready, and then they'll throw those buffers to the side, and the buffers won't adjust. And guess what? If those buffers don't adjust, the old coaches and stuff like that, if they don't adjust, they just hire new coaches because their money's still coming in regardless who's coaching or who's not coaching. You know what I'm saying? They only parade those coaches that keeps the money coming in to the system. And I'm talking about the NCAA system. So when you got that type of dynamic with Dion in Colorado, we know that ESPN, right?
Mm,
ESPN and Fox, they kind of rival each other, right? They are open competitors. So ESPN have brokered some kind of deal to get into Boulder, Colorado, and take over the hosting of the game that's coming up against Colorado State. And that's game day. When have you ever heard, honestly, game day interested in anything involving Colorado State? I don't
man,
care if they was playing Alabama, Roll Tide. I don't care if they was playing Georgia, USC, Ohio State. Game day is not coming to that game. They will miss that game and find another high expectancy game. But with Dion coming in with Colorado State, excuse me, with Dion coming with the Colorado Buffaloes playing Colorado State, making Colorado State super relevant and must see football because of the presence of Dion and his ways. Just think over that. Never in the history have game day participated with anything dealing with Colorado State.
I agree.
And look how fast game day have adjusted. That's the word I used earlier. Have, because they're old money, have adjusted their schedule to participate in a Colorado State involved game. This is only the third game of the collegiate football season, the FBS. The third game. And game day is rushing to Boulder. Think about that. They pissed off they missed this damn Nebraska game. Because that Nebraska game was crazy. With all that red and all that black and gold. That was, you know what I'm saying, parading that atmosphere in Boulder, the first game. They are livid that they missed hosting that game. And Fox got all that good money.
Yeah, because Matt made that personal, ball. Matt made that too personal. He got humble real quick.
Well, new Mark. I could say this right here. We're not saying that they won't Sanders won't get drafted in the first round. We're not saying nothing like that. All I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I can't speak for Gemini, but this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think we should try to leapfrog that far because we have so much substance of content right here, right now, in the moment. So if we try to stretch the yarn way out there, then are we taking away the interest of what's going on right now? That's what I'm saying. We don't even need to look into the draft right now. You follow what I'm saying? That's kind of like dream history or fantasizing right now. We can just focus on Colorado because we got Colorado. We got them because we've been cheering for Colorado since the presence of Deion. So we've been having Colorado for 9 months, right? So why don't we take it step by step and and extricate every iota of the
Experience.
not just experience, but the oh my
Okay.
god.
Okay, while you getting your words together, I'm gonna answer this question.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
go ahead.
I did not say that. I knew I said as of right now, with him being top three, which I know they have him number two in the nation right now, at a slim margin of being out of first place. I said that he could be drafted number Flight asked the question, do I think he's the top 10 draft pick? And I said yes. So I think you came in late, or you're getting that question from either another channel or a sports analyst. That's the main thing that made Dex bring up, yes, enjoy the experience now. But I personally also include what he did in the HBCU landscape. So that's how I came to what, off of what I seen personally, and what I have enjoyed also with him being able to do at CU, especially totally new offense. He don't have to worry about his offensive coordinator getting demoted, and like TC was getting demoted. So it's not an up and down system or changing of the guard system that he has to keep learning. This is one system that he's learning. This one system that he's going forward with, and he's doing well, even with the adjustments that all the new players, because all of them are new, working together, and it is still materializing wins. So I didn't say that.
Well, listen, Newmark, I'm gonna tell you this, and the word I was looking for was tantalizing. That's what I was trying to come up with. That would
Okay.
be the best fit. The tantalizing of Colorado, each move every day leading up to their next game. It's a whole lot of substance and content we could suck out of that, and we've been missing on a lot. But listen, check this out. I was thinking about if he stayed at Jackson State. The thing about Jackson State, like I was sharing earlier, is that they're going to always use that as an excuse, and it's not justified, to relegate players like Shedeur Sanders to a lower rate. And that's because it's a HBCU, and a lot of people buy into the dumb narrative that, oh, the competition is this, the competition is that, but a football player is a football player. There's so many players back in the day, as I shared on previous streams, that have excelled in the NFL coming from HBCUs, and I'm talking about a plethora of Hall of Famers. The reason
Yeah.
why
What?
oh, the reason why HBCUs normally be relegated to a lower tier rate is because it will interfere with the power structure of the PWI going pipeline going into the NFL. In the NFL, they're working right along with them, just like they was doing in college basketball. It's the same thing. How college basketball had the pipeline going into the pros until other players start really superstarring coming out of various leagues around the world. And then they had to make an adjustment. And we're not going to even mention the LeVar Ball factor. You follow what I'm saying? That expedited the process to hurry up and play 1 year players removed from high school into the NBA, and just threw college basketball up under the bus because they didn't want nobody to interfere with that money or that pipeline. And so if college couldn't do anything to assist themselves, the NBA wasn't going to cut off their ear to spite their face. So this is what's going on in the NCAA and the liaison to the NFL. And so they have always made HBCU talent lesser than the Power Five talent, even though the HBCU talent could and would excel in Power Five conference or PWIs, period. And this is what we're witnessing right now with the Travis Hunters of the world playing both sides of the ball and the Shedeur Sanders, big double S himself, hashtag legendary. I mean, hashtag too legendary. His daddy name was too legit, and now his son is too legendary. So we really know that talent is talent, but they try to create barriers, levels, in order for them to have some influence and dominance over what's what and who's who when it comes to being available and have access to the big contracts going into the NFL. And keep in mind now, I'm talking about the agencies, I'm talking about pundits, I'm talking about analysts, and I'm talking about big universities and the ADs that run those universities. These people have think tanks. Don't think that they just wake up like you and me and just be like trying to win it. You know what I'm saying? They don't think they just wake up like you and me, take a shit and be like, I'm finna do this today. No, they have think tanks and they plan for 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And they make sure everybody that's in power and influence stay in code so the system can keep on creating the type of athletes on a conveyor belt that will be funneled into the NFL for the big money.
Well, I will say this. The last HBCU quarterback to even be mentioned in the Heisman um, contest, sweepstakes, if you want to call it that, is McNabb. And he actually won. So, like, that's how much they don't really pay attention to us. Hell, if you really want to look at it, Warren Moon, who they wanted to be a wide receiver, for those who don't know, had to go all the way to Canada and put up records to earn a spot to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. So literally, it's that bad. The way that they downplay HBCU
Well, but Warren Moon didn't
and
go to
our black
HBCU
folk.
though.
I know, but and
You
it,
got the
we
Doug Williams, he probably was the best black quarterback ever in the history of HBCU.
I know, but you cut off the last part of my answer. I was saying HBCU and black quarterbacks.
Oh, no doubt.
Like,
I mean, we already know that we got it bad. Look, I mean, look how they drug Lamar Jackson when he was coming into the league. I mean, for crying out loud. You know
he's
what I'm saying?
they
So
wanted him to be a wide receiver. Damn near demanded that he be a wide receiver until he got their mind right there in front of reporters, and they wasn't too happy about that.
mhm. So
Ray
yeah,
Ray
they never give
Ray
us the benefit
Lewis.
of the doubt when it comes to black quarterback because you got to remember, and this is not something that I invented. See, I didn't invent this narrative. This was paraded and was scurrilous before I was even born. That, black people in positions of uh, complications have it very difficult to think out solutions. And quarterback is a position that you have to think out solutions. You have defense running at you, and you got your skill positions running at them. So you have to be quick thinking right down to the modern day times. And at one point, a lot of these people that wielded influence to either allow us to play it or didn't allow us to play it had the mindset that we just didn't have what it takes to participate and be a winner at the same time. And that's where I mentioned Doug Williams, because Doug Williams defied all that, and he debunked all that, and he deconstructed all that. But that doesn't mean that there's still not people in those positions that believe that. And they always held quarterback as a pristine position for white men.
Yep.
And that was a position preserved for them. Whether you was like James Harris. I don't know if you remember James Harris for the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Very, very outstanding quarterback. Could make every throw. Was very articulate and high IQ player. And they always relegated him to eh, you know. And they always had nitpicked his game all the way till he retired. Joe Gilliam of the Pittsburgh Steelers. If it wasn't for him, Pittsburgh wouldn't have one of the four of their Super Bowls because Terry Bradshaw got hurt. And he led the Pittsburgh Steelers that season until the playoffs
Got
to
hurt.
a
You mean
record
got rocked?
to a record that put them in a favorable position to win another Super Bowl. But you don't hear about Joe Gilliam. You don't hear about that guy because he was better than Terry Bradshaw. So even though Terry Bradshaw is Hall of Fame and he was a damn good quarterback, but Joe Gilliam put the ball where it's supposed to be put, and he didn't put Lynn Swan and Stallworth in harm's way like Terry
Yep.
Bradshaw done. You know, it was Terry Bradshaw the one that threw that ball where Jack Tatum damn near took off the head of the receiver, and Franco Harris make the immaculate conception. Joe Gilliam didn't play that way. He wasn't reckless like that. But at the same time, he was a black quarterback. So only Terry Bradshaw would tell you that if he was a coach, Joe Gilliam would be starting over him. Terry Bradshaw would be honest, and he'll tell you that. That's how good Joe Gilliam was. Look at Vince Evans for the Chicago Bears. Y'all remember Vince Evans? Everybody know Vince Evans was better than Jim McMahon. But look how that went. Jim McMahon, only time Vince Evans get in with Jim McMahon get hurt.
Yeah, that is right.
You follow what I'm saying? So it's always have been an uphill battle, but it's not like that as much anymore. So double S, Shedeur Sanders has the utmost opportunity, especially by his dad being the coach, have the utmost opportunity when with his skill set and with his mind and with the players that who have helped assist in his ascendancy, i.e. Tom Brady, i.e. Mr. Wilson himself, Mr. Good Guy, married to Sierra, Mr. Sierra himself, Russell Wilson, helping
The
him
man
to
is.
become what he is right now. You follow what I'm saying? So he does have the opportunity to go first round. And keep in mind, Stream, by the Pac 12 being as competitive as it has been from top to bottom, only helps the case of Shedeur Sanders moving forward because he has to go through that gauntlet of the Pac 12. He has to go through that meat grinder, and they're going to be waiting for him. And if he can continue to succeed and put up godly numbers, he definitely was going to be considered in the first round to somebody's team.
I don't see him not being a, a first round. Me personally. So and I guess that's why I was trying to hit on that quick and get off of it because like right now I don't see too many teams with a I don't see too many teams with a wide receiver one this speedy. Like 4.34 average across the board when it comes to wide receivers. I don't I don't see that. Like you don't see that in college football. To where every practice is a competition. You don't normally see that. You normally get that one that it'll be the first one or the third one, but not the whole wide receiver room to where everybody fast. This everybody fast. So you
Yeah,
can't you gotta be you gotta play honest on the defensive side. You now I can't lie. They was using the spy technique with him, and that's what really made him have to keep the ball just a little bit more this past week. But it's not going to be too many teams on their schedule that can play like that defensively, especially now after he didn't seen it. That's going to be able to keep him that honest. I guess you could say.
Yeah, Nebraska did contain him very well, and I wasn't too much surprised by that because Nebraska do have a stud defense. Even though they lost their first game, they only gave up 13 points, and normally 13 points you don't lose in college, right? It's just that the
Mhm.
Nebraska offense with Jeff Sims sputtered time and time again. Even though Jeff Sims did break containment and got loose and scored a 50 something yard touchdown on a scramble, but
Mhm.
outside of that, he wasn't that impressive. And Nebraska defense was very impressive. It's just that how long can you contain such speed that you were speaking about, DJ Gemini? It's difficult for any team on any level to contain so much speed that's on the floor. And for 2.5 quarters, Nebraska done that. They had set a precedence towards the Colorado high explosive offense for 2.5 quarters. And then, the war of attrition, and they lost that battle. And Colorado just start eating them up chunks by chunks and slipping tackles and things of that nature. And that's how you and Nebraska was a little slow getting to some of these men in the open field. And that's how you know that fatigue had set in because they were fighting inertia and at the same time they was dodging lightning. So sooner or later, one or the other going to give. And it seemed like that lightning tore them to pieces and caused them to scramble and be out of position. And Colorado Buffaloes took full advantage of it and opened the game up in the third quarter and never looked back.
I'll I'll say this. Me personally, I don't think it was really. You say a war of nutrition. I think it was really trying to figure out.
No, no, not nutrition, not nutrition, attrition, attrition.
Okay, uh, attrition. I think it was more.
man, it's like this. If you ain't conditioned, I mean, you gonna need like they say, you only can go so far. But the other team, eventually, if you run out of gas, and a team with the speed, and like I say in this game, in football or any other sport, period, speed is gonna kill. you know, if you run out of gas, that's your ass.
Hmm. I mean, I'm just more on. I I think it was more trying not to. I think they were so emotional behind it because if you haven't followed Colorado, um, and the Matt situation, Matt made this game more personal than it should have been overall. Period. This game should have not been this personal. Matt made this game so personal to where he kept Prime name in his mouth every interview for a span of a month and a half. Whenever he did an interview, he brought up Prime, regardless of the fact of the matter. Somehow, some way, he was taking a jab. So that made this game so personal to where everybody literally had to take that step back and say, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Like I knew it was gonna be something, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
Yeah, man, you can look at it this way. Coach Prime is 2-0 right now, and all the people that said he was going to lose, he haven't lost yet. He's still undefeated. How long can he go? I'm hoping, next week he can pick up the victory too.
Well, I'll say this: Vegas dropped that scale that said that literally had Colorado being beat every damn near every game
Nobody believes in
by
Colorado, of course.
by 20 points. And then they said Colorado would only win 3 or 4 games for the whole season. I remember when Vegas dropped that because they talked about it from ESPN all the way to the herd. They talked about that how Vegas literally had Colorado only winning 3 to 4 games.
Yeah,
Every game that they
yeah.
was gonna get outscored besides those 3 or 4 wins, and literally they had them squeaking by no more than a field goal or a touchdown.
It's gonna be
Like
like this.
that's how tight the scores was. Now I'm not talking about high scoring games. I'm talking about low scoring games.
Well,
Like they literally until they changed it. Well, actually, I'm sorry, they changed it twice. At first, they had the first 3 games I know for sure they had Colorado down by 20 points. Then they changed it, and then they had Nebraska up by 8. Then they changed it again and had Colorado up. I think Dex. I need your help with this one.
Three. It was three.
3. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I had it right. So then they had them up by 3. Like this is how much they didn't even believe in the Kent State former head coach. But his
um,
offense have like even when he was at Kent State, his offense is bananas, dog. Like I'll give it to him. I don't know where he was able to get those guys from. Now I'm not saying that they won a lot of games because they back was against the wall. Like they had talent as far as the offensive line, but everywhere else they was mid. I'll say that they was mid. But if you to watch them on the field, you'll be like, wait, who's a 4 star? Who's a 5 star? You're not a 5 star. You're not a 4 star. But y'all
hmm.
out here playing like y'all are. Like that's how jailed his offense was.
Oh yeah.
So for them not to even believe in that man offensive capabilities of coaching, wow, that's bananas.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why it's gonna be like this for the rest of the season, y'all. Saying Colorado, okay, they wasn't a good team that year. Now that Coach Prime took over, they 2-0. So, if he could take them all the way to the championship and win it all, then what they gonna say then? But y'all know that if Colorado
All they're
lose
gonna
one
say is,
game,
"What about next year?
right,
What are you gonna do
exactly,
next year?"
right,
They gonna. Oh yeah,
right.
cause he gonna fill those defensive holes that's needed.
Like I was saying, like those people that's not up here right now, they was talking all that shit about I don't believe in Deion Sanders and he can't coach all this and that. Guess what? I guarantee you this: if they was to lose next week, all the haters that was talking about Deion Sanders this and the third is gonna be up on this panel next week talking shit. Oh, I told you that Deion wasn't all this, that, and the third, and all
Of
this.
course, that's what haters do.
Well,
Yeah, you know
I
this.
asked the question. I
They
asked the
play the
question
odds.
for right, but I asked the question for a reason, and nobody gave the answer. So I'm gonna give the answer. I knew the answer, but I asked what was his coaching record prior to being a D1 coach. It was 27-6.
Hell, that's damn good. 27-6. Oh shit, you know.
Now, now, if you remember correctly, it was two people that was more on but is he gonna be able to do this at D1 level? First of all, you look at the coaches. That's number one. Number two, look at how hard they recruited in 5 months. Not six, not eight. They did basically all their recruiting in 5 months.
My thing is
There,
this: they had Dion only winning 3 games, right?
yeah.
Just imagine if you would have laid some chalk on Dion over 10 games.
I had took the other bet. That's why I didn't bet on it. I took the $1,000 bet with with an associate out of Texas, and I'm still waiting to get my money. But at or I would have taken that bet.
That's crazy. And then if you could have, you know, put a teaser on it and say, okay, not only going to win 3 games, I'm saying they're going to win 6 games. And if you put $1,000 on that, oh my
Yeah,
God.
Dex. I'll be honest to you. Here's the only reason why I took that bet. This dude was talking so greasy. Don't know nothing about Prime. Don't know about the JSU days. Don't know nothing about the troop days. Don't even know when he took over that high school coaching job. Dig what I'm saying? So he had no information to go off, and he was talking so greasy. Prime don't care about his players, this, that, and the third. I'm like, bruh, this dude is damn near worse than Coach Carter. What are you talking about? This dude go to the professors how my players are doing. He have meetings with his players' professors.
And let me tell you something also. Let me tell you this. College football think they slick. What team do you know that came into the season 1-11 and win 2 games in a row and be ranked 18?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
See that
blatant
slick shit they
disrespect.
doing?
That's blatant disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
they see the NCAA.
No,
See
no,
they.
Kafani, he's talking about the actual jump because
Mhm.
because the funny thing about it was Colorado wasn't even ranked in the top 100.
Yeah, exactly.
They wasn't ranked in the top 100.
yeah, I
Um,
understand. Yeah,
so then you jump from not even being in the top 100
To 22,
to 22. Then with the win
four, four
yesterday,
more jumps up.
that four more jumps up is like, wait. Hold on. Y'all say what? Because that wasn't what y'all was saying a couple of weeks ago. That wasn't what y'all was saying at all.
The reason why college football do that is the trickery because of the bag. They
I
know
agree.
if they keep Colorado ranked, right,
Hmm.
and they're going to play other ranked teams soon, especially like the Oregons and the
That
USC's
would
or whatever.
help them with recruiting.
Not only is it
Oh,
going to help them with recruiting, it's going to be a rating bonanza because Deion is ranked. So so now you're going to have such controversy, just like the coach up in Oregon is like, he ain't win nothing yet. Of course he didn't win nothing yet. You ain't won nothing yet either, fool. You follow what I'm saying? But you rank number what, 7 or 8, Oregon? You ain't won nothing yet either. So the thing of it is this: they create such controversy, right? I hope nobody's snoring.
uh,
Oh, they create so much controversy. So you got the naysayers want to see him lose, and you got those that claim they believe want to see him win. So you got everybody us descending eyes on Colorado. You understand what I'm saying? Where it's not split because you want
but
that controversy. That's what makes
but
it
that
ultimate when you have
but
both watching.
but Dex, that's why I can't see why the TV deal wasn't done. The Pac-12 TV deal. That's why I can't see why
Listen,
they could never get
that
it
that
done.
hurts. Listen, I'm telling you right now, as a Pac-10 fan favorite, that hurts that Colorado came in 2 years too late because everybody dispersing from the Pac-12. So that conference is going to be turned upside down, inside out. If Deion would have came sooner, they would have been able to have a better bargaining chip to keep that conference together as is or expand. Because if you got two directions, either you expand or you subtract.
And every one of those executives still gonna leave with their bonus. That's a damn shame.
So now that Colorado is ranked 18, now you have more steam behind their wins. Look at what happened with Colorado. The first week, the offense was stellar. The defense was porous, like Swiss cheese.
It was
This
mid.
week, no, it was porous. It was worse than mid. It was porous. They couldn't stop a running code, even if you had a bounty. What happened was this week, the defense was stellar, and the offense had a very slow start and came on towards the end once Nebraska kind of wore out and just got deflated after Jeff Sims kept handing the ball to the opposite team like he was colorblind. So now, if you can just put that together, just think about this. If you can put the defense they had against Nebraska and the offense they had against TCU together for a
Ooh.
string of games, do you know they would turn the college football landscape upside down, inside out?
Yeah, I can
What
see that.
what they doing right now? It's a frenzy. But just imagine if they put that offense together with that defense together, they will be looking like 2005 Texas Longhorns or 2004, 2003, 2002, or 2001 UCLA or even Oklahoma with Deion. And that right there would be historical of all time. If Deion Sanders can just put, because that special team is awesome. You seen what that special team do. I thought the special team would be lagging. No, they
Oh
wasn't
no.
lagging or lacking.
No, they fast. No, they fast.
Not only are they fast, they execute. That field goal kicker is kicking that ball between the goalposts from a distance.
Yeah, both of
Normally,
them.
normally
Freely
you don't have.
and the other one.
Normally you don't have really good field goal kickers on a college team. Very rare you get a good field goal kicker. But this dude can kick that ball from a distance, and you see how far, excuse me, it goes through the uprights. He
Yeah.
can look like he can kick that ball 60 yards.
Well, you do know the backstory behind Freely, right?
No, I do not
Freely
know no backstory. I just know his dad played in the
Freely
NFL.
Freely met Deion while he was still while he was in middle school, and he told Deion then, if you was ever to coach, I would like to play for you. And just so happened he did not come to JSU, but he did. As soon as Deion put in for the CU job and it was made public, he was one of the first players to jump in the portal. First
Mhm.
ones to jump in the portal. And next you look up, he playing for Prime.
And that's how you get almost a perfect team. See, really, Dion basically have a perfect team, but they just haven't got it together in one game on both sides of the football, or even the three-layer onion that we talked about prior to Colorado's opening game is the offense, the defense, and the special team. That special team is tight. I know they had that one block extra point or field goal or whatever in the first game. And then from there, they've been really good. They've been punting the ball well. They've been kicking. They kick off as well. It's deep and it penetrates through the enemy end zone. So there is lack of opportunity to return the ball. They get it inside the 10-yard line when needed, when momentum needs to be thwarted. And I'm talking about the opposite team momentum, and get it inside the 10-yard line or somewhere near. And now they're pumped up. The defense could come out pumped up again because they can pin their ears back because there's limitations to what a team is willing to do on or inside the 10-yard line or in the red zone. You follow what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So this is a good thing. And a lot of people is overlooking how magnificent that special team unit is and keeping Colorado defense in favorable positions, you know. And I think that's a good thing. That punter and that kick and that kickoff and field goal kicker have shown that they are substantively indispensable in the Colorado scheme of things.
Well, I mean, they do use both kickers though. I will point that out. And both of them, I think last time I got corrected, both of them are sophomores. So I mean, I'm just enjoying what they doing, like for real, for real.
And yet, and that's a big thing. What you say about that, Kafani?
I mean, yeah, that's incredible. If you could use both of them guys like that, switch it up, then that's a great combination to have. You know. So, like I said, like you talk about in Colorado, and like I said, like I think Coach Frank, I'm gonna have these guys looking at film. See, I know he's addressing defense issues and especially the offense at times when they slow. I think he's have these guys look at film, and by next week they're gonna have all that put together so they can pick up this third win. You know.
And why you think Deion Sanders can say with confidence, we coming, because he's seen what his team could do. And
Right.
I believe Deion Sanders is a superb talent evaluator, but it just hasn't happened on the field together at the same time, where
Okay,
where all three units is striking.
let me put this out there. Deion Sanders, we can't forget that Deion Sanders, okay, he did play as a player. He played defense, but also he did play offense in the NFL too. I've seen him games, and I seen him when the Cowboys won three straight titles. You know what I'm saying? So
No, Cowboys never won three straight. Nobody in the
I
NFL
mean,
have ever
not,
won
not
three
three straight,
straight.
but they lost. They won two in a row. Lost. I forgot the team. They lost to the third year,
Frisco, they lost to Deion. They lost
yeah,
to Deion.
but the fourth year they came back and won. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So Cowboys won two in a row. Then they lost to Deion, San Francisco 49ers. Deion, Rice, Taylor, Young.
Yeah.
I think Ricky Waters was on that team, running Waters. And then Dallas got Deion, and then Deion won again. So Deion won back to back. One with Frisco and one with Dallas.
Yeah. That's trick. That's crazy, but that's how it happened too, yo.
Well,
And yeah,
the just just if you look at the coaching staff, I thought that was I really think that that was incredible. Like n- everybody that you was able to get from different levels. You took two black HBCU head coaches, and then you took one D1 head coach, and you took one of the architects of Bama defense. So, like that coaching staff bananas, bro. Like
and you know what?
people sleep on it, but that coaching staff bananas.
And you know what? Since you mentioned Bama, look what happened. Bama lost, and they lost based on their defense. I mean, every time Bama was to score, and even they took the lead, they gave the lead back because of their defense. And now look at Colorado defense. At one game they had, they gave up 42 points, and then they turn around and give up 14. But they really gave up 7. And then the second string comes in and all that, and they gave up that last little backdoor touchdown. But they played a stellar game and only gave up 7 points to a dual quarterback, and they made that quarterback look very terrestrial.
Well, I mean, that he was suspect already with his decision making, and he like people think Colorado don't have a fast defense, and they do. They honestly do. With all the naysayers and doubters, they the crow that they eating is bananas right now. Like they eating crow better than when we used to joke about it as kids. Like they eating crow.
No doubt. They must like crow.
And
They probably put layer of season salt on it.
the
Or
coach,
that what's that other
Tony's
bay? What's that other one
to,
called? Something
Tony
bay.
Sature. Oh, you talking about the seafood one? I
Yeah,
don't
that
really eat
seafood one,
that one.
bay, something bay. I
Yeah,
got hip to that when I was in America.
Obey.
Oh yeah, Obey, yeah, Obey, Obey on putting Obey on their crow.
man. I was watching the football game. I mean, I know you guys came on here a little while ago. I was still watching the football. I just got to watching
Not the
the Dallas
Cowboys.
Cowboys beat on the New York Giants, boy.
Giants.
Yeah.
What was the
I was
final
like,
score? When I left, it was 40-0. I said that's a
it
dub.
40-0. Yeah, that's a final score because at times it was like New York was trying to put some points in the board. Every time they end up turning the ball over. I guess the defense had their number tonight.
Yeah,
Dude,
Cowboys defense looked.
I told
Yep.
everyone the Giants fluke last year. Most of the teams they beat weren't even playoff teams.
But Chi-Town, they gave Danny Dimes all that money, man.
Dude, I never trust like he's a good athlete, but as a passer, he's not an elite passer. So I don't know why they even gave him that money. He's a good who he
Then they
reminds
should
me of? He
move his
reminds me of
position. If he's a good athlete, they should move him to somewhere else where he can show his athleticism. Because
yeah,
that
he's like
quarterback, he sucks.
the guy who's the guy from New Orleans, that other Taysom Hill. That's who he is.
Yeah, Tyshawn Hill, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the biggest challenge is Dallas got to play against New York Jets next week against Aaron Rodgers and them. So that's going to be a game. I'm going to be looking
Listen,
forward to
Dallas
watching
defense
that.
is crazy. That defense is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you
but
that right now. I'll watch the game for 3 quarters, and then the beginning of the fourth quarter, they put in their subs. So they subs played the whole fourth quarter. Now
yep.
I'm a little worried about Dak Prescott because he's looked like he's a little rusty. It looks like those receivers are rusty because there was a lot of drop balls and a lot of missed pass that caused missed opportunities. Because that game could have been 60-0 if Dak would hit those
Mm.
passes.
You know what though? I think they wasn't trying to beat them too bad like that. I mean, it could have been, but I don't think that I don't think. I know it's an embarrassing loss. That's the biggest loss since 1999. You know,
Yeah, about 20 years. Huh?
yeah.
20.
So yeah, talking about yeah,
No,
that
I
was
remember in back in 2011. This is Saints versus Colts. I think this final score was like 67-7, something like that.
no, it's
No,
67
we're talking about the Dallas and Giants rivalry. That's the biggest loss
Oh,
in like 20 something years.
Yeah,
Just between them two.
1995. I remember
No, I think it was
1995.
92
1995, I think the
or
score was
94.
35-0. I was like 16 at the time, so
So
I
it
remember
was
that.
95.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 1995, it was 35-0. And that said something about 1999. I forgot the one about one in 1999. But yeah.
Maybe
Hey,
the
but
last time the Giants got shut out.
hey, but Tyreek Hill today, man.
Yeah, it could have been.
Hey, Tyreek Hill was insane today.
For the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, he was. I think he had like close to 200 yards in receiving.
Yes. Tua, how you say his last name again?
Tagovailoa or something like that. Yeah.
I used to know how to pronounce it, but I can't pronounce it tonight.
Hey, I wouldn't be
Anyway,
surprised.
Tua.
I don't
Yeah.
just people might think I'm crazy. But he could win the MVP if he plays like this.
Yeah,
If
I
the
don't think Tua's going to
offensive
maintain.
line
He's
can
not going to
stay
maintain.
healthy,
He's not going to
like
maintain that level of football. Come on now. Tua's not going to maintain that.
Well, no, it's a health. Because even last year too, outside of the games he got hurt, he was pretty solid last year. He had a good year last year.
Just like Kyler Murray, they're small, they're shifty, but at the same time, they cannot take that
Kyler Murray
poundage
can't
week
read.
in and week
Kyler
out.
Murray's reads are like he can't read defenses.
But Kyler Murray can get you some big games, though. If you put him as your fantasy quarterback, he can get you some big numbers in the fantasy. You know what I'm saying? And that's because he's a dual quarterback.
He runs a lot.
Right,
Tua barely even runs. He doesn't run as much as and he's
because he's getting hurt.
Yeah, but he's a fast guy too. He doesn't run as much as he could, like other guys like Lamar Jackson.
But the man getting his head peeled, man. He's coming out with concussions back to back.
Yeah, that's his only thing. If he could stay healthy though, he had a chance to win MVP.
Yeah, the dude spelling his name backwards. They were like, "Oh no, we gotta shut you down."
But let's be real though. You know the favorites for this year are the San Francisco 49ers. They're the Super Bowl champs. You know what I'm saying? You know, Patrick Mahomes got that big time contract. Yeah, they're gonna
the 49ers. Do you guys trust Brock Purdy?
Listen. Hold on. Let's not go there. We got two Chi-Town on this panel, and yet y'all have not mentioned the Bears. What's going on? Are y'all ashamed?
I don't want to talk.
Are y'all
Bears?
ashamed?
They kind of disappointed. They kind of disappointed. Even though
Justin Fields, are y'all ashamed?
Yeah, the score was 38-20. I think the Bears defense messed up at some point in the game to where
Jordan Love
beat you.
Was the reincarnate of Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
what happened?
I'll say this. I've never bought into Fields because Ohio State.
No. Hold on. You can't blame that on Fields. Fields is a good quarterback, but I think Fields got to tell the fucking offensive coordinator, like, no, man, I don't want to run this play. I need to switch this play up. You need to do this and the third. So, in Chicago, you got to understand that they don't have to spend money to keep on talent. So that's another issue. And they got rid of Mac.
Got a new
They got rid of Mac. They got rid of Mac and some other players. They went to other teams and they doing good over there.
Hey, but they got DJ Moore though. People are all. First of all, I never even bought the Field type because Ohio State QBs. How many of them even are successful in the NFL? Zero.
Yeah. Maybe Tremaine was his name Tremaine or Jermaine was probably the best Ohio State quarterback that had NFL, career, and he played with the Rams.
I'll be honest with you though. It feels like I said. I believe at some point Fields gonna leave Chicago and go to another team and kick Chicago ass. That's what normally happens when quarterbacks leave. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere else because you know well as I do that Chicago don't like to pay players.
Well, I'm gonna leave y'all fellas because I got something to do in the morning.
Okay, salute, Gemini. We appreciate your presence.
All right, DJ Gemini.
Hey, I will say this
later,
though,
Shy.
If later, I will say this though: if because here's the thing: they play Tampa next week, and they play Casey the
Tampa Bay
week after.
Buccaneers. Oh my God, bro, that's gonna be a fucking challenge.
Who's starting for Tampa?
Baker Mayfield. They won today. They beat the Vikings today.
Okay, Baker.
Yeah.
That's
So
all-
if they don't win next week, and they're not beating Kansas City, I think we could get that out of the way. Then I think they should tank and go for Caleb Williams in the draft.
I
So
don't
how
see
many years y'all gonna tank?
until they pay for
Until we find
talent.
the right guy.
Until they pay for talent. Until
Here's the other thing, too, the Bears-
Ransdor stop being so cheap.
The Bears also have the Panthers first round pick. So if the Panthers are really bad this year, they could get Caleb and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Y'all listen. The Chicago Bears just picked up a new president, right?
No, they got a new GM, Ryan Poles.
No, it's a black dude, the president, right? He's like the president of operations or something. He's like a businessman.
They need a new. If you ask me, the Bears need a new owner. They need a new
Okay,
owner.
who's the head coach? Who's the head coach?
I know what you're talking about. Kevin Warren. Yeah, Kevin Warren. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So who's the head coach of the Bears? Let's go there first.
Hey, what's his damn name? I keep on forgetting his damn name. I was looking at this dude today too. This is my first time actually getting a good look at this coach. What's his name, man? I got look.
Oh, Eberflus.
He was flow, okay. Cause he was. I don't really know him like that. This is my first time actually getting the first look at this coach. So yeah.
No, this is
Do
the
you
second year.
trust him?
This was our last year, and this
Right,
year.
do you trust him?
I will say his play calling was terrible. I don't know
He kind of hesitant on the. I think he's kind of hesitant, man, to do some plays, man. He's kind of acting hesitant out there, as offensively.
Yeah, I don't know why they weren't. You're down by 20 points. You don't run the ball. You have to take shots downfield.
What, take shots down the field? Wait, I was like, what the hell? They should have did what they did last time when they got the second touchdown. I mean, like they had the momentum on their side, then they messed up on defense, and the momentum was gone again.
Yeah, they were, and then Fields too. Like I feel like some of the decisions he was making were like really like safe, like throwing to.
Hey, bro, you gotta understand, he don't have no protection on the line, bro. He's running for his life down there every other play. I mean,
in the first quarter, first quarter they fell off like later in the game. If you watch the first quarter, they're giving.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime the score was 10-6, so they was down less than a touchdown. But then coming out of the break, they give up 2 freaking touchdowns, right? So in the fullness of the third quarter, it was 14-6.
Right.
So they never really had a chance in this game except at kickoff. That's the only time the Bears had a real chance in this game, when the ball was first kicked off.
Yeah, and their defense isn't that great either. They're letting Fields have all the time in the world.
They look tired out there, man. Like they was partying last night, bro. I'm talking about. They look like they was partying. Look like to me they was partying before the game, man. So because the defense and the offense look kind of tired out there. I'm just
the whole team was
look kind of tired out there. Like they just got through clubbing last night. So that's what it looked like out there.
Yeah, I'll admit the whole team was terrible, offense, defense. But then Fields, because they made him this next guy that he's gonna. There are people saying who was gonna win MVP this year. He was the most better QB to an MVP, and if you are that guy, then you have to step up. He didn't really show me any flash of brilliance this game too.
I mean, they basically embarrassed Soldier Field. I mean, how can you let your arch nemesis, Green Bay Packers, come in with a new quarterback last name Love? Hey, Love. Come in there and beat you by 18 points.
Well,
what kind of foolishness is that? Love. How you let somebody named Love beat you?
And you know the thing about Love, the reason why he's good is because of that coaching too. Matt LaFleur, he's the reason why that he looks so good, because their coaching is amazing.
They stumped the mud hole in y'all. Y'all lost by 18 points opening day. Soldier Field coming out with vigor, with no rigor. And that's a shame. And a quarterback from the opposite team up in Wisconsin, Cheesehead, named Love, Jordan Love.
Like I said, you got a team like Green Bay, or you got a team that spend money on talent, you're gonna have a good You know what I'm saying? It just setting around you. You know what I'm
Dude, the
saying?
crazy thing is too, their receiver Christian Watson was out. Their best receiver was Romeo Dobbs, and all these other receivers I've never heard of these guys' names before, and they're killing the Bears.
Well, you know
Oh,
what? That's the Bears, and we want to give you guys the opportunity to get out your Bear trauma. You know what I'm saying? It was only fair because you represented 50% of the panel tonight. But back to Colorado, Chi-Town, what do you think about Colorado and the how they're usurping all of the attention from other top 5 programs?
I'll be honest, I'm not a big. I don't really watch college that much. Like I watch it, but I'm a more of a casual viewer. But their defense the other day against Nebraska, they shut out, and his son, the QB, Deion Sanders, he looks great. He looks great. I don't know if he could translate to the NFL, but um, I know that first game they put up a lot of points too. So they've been putting up points too. So um, we'll see how far this team goes. I know they're ranked to be one of the worst teams in the league, and now they're 2-0. So there's that.
And they are a resounding 2-0. And their 2-0 is very impressive. The first week, they upset the number 17 runner up to the national championship, TCU Horned Frogs. Then, following up, they demolished Nebraska. A historic moment, classic rivalry. I mean, there's so much history between these two. I'm talking about celebrated history between these two. And Nebraska couldn't muster up nothing but 14 points, 7 points they got late in the fourth quarter. And Colorado was impressive, extremely impressive on the defensive side. And that was something that was hung over their head coming off of last season, 1-11 disappointing season where they gave up 30 points a game, the worst in the FBS, only gave up 14 points to a rough Nebraska team who is known as their classic nemesis. That is crazy. Now, Newmark, now you know, lost your mind. They're not going 7-0. I can't rock with that. They might go 6-1, but I don't know about 7-0. But anyway,
7-0, that's kind of stretching it, man. I would say, yeah, I play a safer seed, 6-1. You know what I'm saying? You know, if they get to 6-0, we gonna go with that. Now, if they can get 7-0, then that'd be great too. But yeah, I don't know about that one
I
too.
don't know if they go 6-0, but
Right.
I know that they could be 6-1 in a 7-game span, and that is still superb. But nevertheless, keep the bar high for Colorado. I love that. Keep it high because you just never know with these guys, right? Because I'm telling you, Colorado is a very scary team. And those of us who really know football and we know about those X's and O's on that 100-yard tundra, you see if Colorado can get it together on all 3 levels and be a cohesive unit in the special teams, the defense, and most definitely the offense. They can be 6-1 with no problem. But it might be a rough time getting there, going through the thicket and running the gamut in the Pac-12 right now. But they definitely can be a 6-1 team at the 7-game juncture.
Yeah, but I think most importantly though that Deion was probably tell these guys to take one game at a time, look at the film. Don't worry, he probably put it in their head. Don't worry about the record type thing. Take one game at a time. If we get there, if we have to be, if they have to be 6-0, it happen when it happen. If they can, all they gotta do is focus on winning the game next week, and they gonna go from there.
Yeah, so Colorado is doing their thing. Game day have adjusted their schedule and made a U-turn to get to Boulder, Colorado as soon as they can. And hell, they might be setting up as we speak. Colorado have another good competitive matchup with Colorado State. We know Colorado State is not ranked or anything, but when you have those in-state rivalries, it means so much to the program because you're fighting for recruits. And Colorado State have something to say about this. You think they want to watch Colorado run away with all of the top recruits coming out of the Utah area, the Colorado area, the Wyoming area? You think they want this? Heck no, they don't want that. So Colorado State gonna have to fight hard to prove to the recruits that may consider Colorado State that they can compete or even beat a Colorado Buffalo team that is currently ranked
But you,
18th.
that's very true. You know what though? If Colorado, if Deion could take this first year to this team all the way to the big dance and win it all, did you know that the colleges they ain't gonna have no choice, but it's gonna be players that want to come to Colorado if that happens, or if they get close to it. It's gonna be players that are gonna want to come to Colorado. You know what I'm saying? So other colleges and other programs they're not gonna have a choice but to honor that because
Look what happened to Alabama.
Alabama used to be one of
Wow.
the top teams. That used to be one of the top teams once upon a
Well,
time.
they're still a top team.
That's still one of the
I
top
mean,
teams.
yeah, they top 10. So
Top
they
10.
was
Yeah.
ranked number 3, but they dropped 7 slots because of the loss to the Texas Longhorns. And listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something. You see, that's bullshit because in the past, if Alabama lost that game to Texas in the past, Alabama don't drop no 7 slots. You
No.
know this. Alabama will drop 1 or 2 slots at the most if losing that game to Texas in the past. Because I remember Alabama, I think they lost to an unranked LSU team before. And they didn't drop like that. And they still end up playing in the national championship.
Yeah, you know what though? You know what? The team came a long way, and I used to keep up with college back then a little bit. Penn State came up as a college team. I said, yeah, Penn State, man, okay.
Yeah,
You
Penn
know,
State has always been
they've been
good.
good.
Yeah, they always have been good.
You
They
could,
kind of had a rough spot once Coach P died.
yeah,
And he was under that scandal, and then he forcefully resigned, and then he died the next season, and then they kind of struggled. I think they had O'Brien that went on to coach in the Houston Texans, but they had him there for a minute, and he revived the program. He revived Penn State, and got them past that scandal. And now you got Penn State where they are now, which is good. Michael Parson came from there. Saquon Barkley came from there. So they have some really good players that have come through that portal into the NFL.
right.
But the thing about Colorado, the reason why Alabama dropped so far, because really Alabama is opposed to what Colorado's doing. So basically, Colorado is a new sheriff in town. If Colorado wasn't who they were right now, Alabama definitely wouldn't have dropped as far because NCAA, ESPN, because ESPN was SEC heavy, CBS is SEC heavy. Now is a new sheriff in town, and it's a new money bag. So people eyes are not on Alabama as it used to be. Now everybody eyes have descended on Colorado, so they can drop Alabama and don't feel nothing about it because they have a team ranked 18 that's pulling in 7 to 10 million views per.
Yeah, money talks. So yeah, if they keep on winning, they're going before you know it, they're gonna be top 10. You know, they keep on going at this rate. So yeah, so
Oh yeah, if they beat Colorado State, they definitely probably going to be somewhere around ranked 11. They're going to be right there, right up underneath Alabama. Watch. If they
yeah,
beat Colorado State, and if they beat Colorado State handsomely, yeah, they're going to be ranked number 11 between, I say between 11 and 13, depending on the margin of victory against Colorado. And if that defense is dominant and that offense is also airing it out, you know, they're going to be ranked between 11 and 13 when they go to play Oregon. And don't let them beat Oregon. Oh my God, if they beat Oregon, they would probably be top 5.
If they beat Oregon, yeah, they ain't gonna have no choice but to put them in the top five because Oregon is a good team. So as we know, so yeah, that's gonna be really big if they beat Colorado. I mean, win next week and beat Oregon the following week. That's gonna be something amazing.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's a flip now. So this is why they can drop Alabama Roll Tide because college football financially has been hinged on Alabama and Ohio State. Basically, those have been your two money programs, and USC just now coming back into the picture because USC had fell off for a minute. Now they're just now coming back into the picture under Lincoln Riley, bringing them back and has resuscitated the USC lore being the Giants out of the West Coast. Even though Utah was the only team that beat them last season, but Utah beat them in crucial games. They beat them in regular season. They beat them for the conference uh, uh, championship, and that I don't think college football really liked, but hell, it happened. But nevertheless, they was prepared to put USC in the playoffs if they would have won that, even though they lost and Utah won. Utah didn't. They didn't qualify. So USC is coming back now. Alabama seems like they're dropping. Clemson seems like they're dropping. And you still got the mainstay of Michigan, Ohio State, and now you got Georgia. So you still have a potent top dog in the SEC that's still probably the best program in college football right now until proven otherwise because they have won back-to-back championships. Now it's going to be hard to win that third because that's what happened to USC. They went back-to-back, and when they went for that third, you had that big man up there and hook 'em horns. Vince Young stopped them from having a three-peat in college football. Can Georgia do the three-peat? Because if you notice, a lot of attention is on Colorado. There's attention on Texas, but there's not that much attention on Georgia, who is the back-to-back championship. So those kids are not under pressure or duress to maintain the status quo. And that's what the media tries to do, try to let them sneak in and not having all that publicity on them, but they want to put the publicity on Colorado, Texas, and USC. And if Oregon can squeak out, you're going to see a lot of Oregon getting a lot of publicity, but that Georgia supposed to be part of the best conference in college football is not getting the attention because they probably want them to kind of ease on through the season under the radar so they won't have any type of nervousness in some of these tight games that they're going to have to play. So y'all watch out for that because Georgia should be getting a lot of attention as well because they're back to back. And anytime you're a back to back NCAA football champ, that's big because you don't get that often.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's gonna be a challenge there. So yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna be on the popping, man. It's gonna be hell of a fast season. It's about who's gonna be the hungriest team's gonna win.
Yeah, Texas got that oil money. So, we already know about that fossil fuel. You know what I'm saying? Texas over there are fracking. You know what I'm saying? They trying to find oil anywhere in the state of Texas, which is the biggest landmass in the continental United States. So yeah, they're gonna have that money. In Texas, they're gonna take advantage of that NIL as well. Colorado is a state they have money. California is probably the richest state in the United States. And if California was to succeed from the United States, it'd probably be the ninth richest country in the world. It might be higher now since a lot of these countries' currency is falling by the wayside.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a whole lot shaking up in the college landscape, and we're here for it, and we're here to enjoy it. Colorado right now have all the attention on them. They're the new kids on the block, and man, are they relishing with this attention. And they're showing and proving that they are a quality football team on all three vectors of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. They have yet to put it together in one game or a series of games. But if they are to do that, man, will they be a wrecking ball on the tundra? I'm telling you, I'm watching it and I'm watching, all vectors of it: special teams, offense, defense, and I don't see it clicking all. You know what I'm saying? So far, it seems like special team and defense is clicking on all cylinders, but that offense is not clicking on all cylinders just yet because, as the chat and DJ Jim and I say, all the players is not even ready yet. Once all the players get ready and Colorado be at their full strength, man, watch out. You're gonna see a behemoth that that's coming down the pipe in the college landscape. So yeah, Georgia have a good quarterback. He's good. He's okay.
Well,
You know.
who's that quarterback that's like 25 years old?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's him, right?
Yeah,
How is he even
yeah.
allowed to play college?
Hold on. Hold
As
this
long as he keep
quarterback.
his eligibility, as long as he keep
Hold
his
this.
eligibility.
You said this quarterback is 25
You
years
could
old.
be 40 years old. You keep your eligibility. Age doesn't have a number. I mean, age doesn't matter in college. It's eligibility that matters.
Shit, I thought 25 years old. That's supposed to be your last and final year. So
Nah,
then you could.
it's a person playing in college that was 40 years old, man. Played football, and he played
No,
football,
I'm
and he
pretty
got
sure the deal with him was that he redshirted his first year, and then
uh-huh.
COVID happened, so he got like. But then I think this should be his final year because I don't think your eligibility is only like 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
He got
But
to try to get on
it don't
the.
have to be consecutive years.
How many
You
years
know
has
what
he
I'm saying?
played?
How many
Oh, I
years he
don't
played
know.
college basketball?
I don't know his history. I do not know his history.
I hope he didn't
But
play 7 years
I know
already in
he's not a
college.
young kid. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not a young kid.
I hope he didn't play 7 years already since he was 18. That'd be crazy. But
But
I
I've
mean,
seen a guy that was in his 40s playing college football,
what, he quarterback, running back, or
and
line?
he was eligible.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
he was I think was he a fullback or something? A tight end? He was something. No, he wasn't a tight end. He was something running back. He was in the backfield, either fullback,
Wait, no, never mind.
halfback.
No, he got. Sorry, I was wrong. That guy got drafted to the NFL. He was a Georgia quarterback last year, but this year he got drafted to NFL.
Oh, so this quarterback is a new guy. He's not the one that was there last year. Is that what you're saying? I guess that's what he's saying. That Georgia has a new quarterback this year, not the same guy from
So
last year.
yeah, last year was his final year. This year he's actually on the Rams.
Last year it was Jake Fromm, right? Wasn't that his name? Jake Fromm or something like that?
Stetson Bennett.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he was a transfer. Wasn't he a transfer?
Oh yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
was a transfer from Texas or something.
Yeah. Because I think
No, it was some small college. I don't
It was a
remember.
small college. Yeah, I remember he was. Yeah, I know he's a transfer. Yeah, so Jake Fromm, he's already in the NFL then.
okay, because like I said, in college, I think you can only play maybe up to 5 years, maybe sometimes 6 if you have an
Well, it depends
exception.
because what happens is that some athletes they want to focus on their studies the first year, so they redshirt, so they don't play the.
Oh yeah, that's
year.
understandable. Yeah.
Say that again.
Oh yeah, the studies. Yeah, I understand that. So that makes sense. Like, so,
Yeah. So they redshirt
yeah.
their first year, so they just like they don't play their first year, and then year two, their sophomore year of college is when they start playing, and they could play until they're like 23 years old. So it's like 4 years basically. But then what happened with this guy is that COVID happened, and he redshirted, which is why he extended his college career.
Oh, okay. But Georgia's
Okay.
just a good team. They're well coached, so that's why they're number one, and they're pulverizing their opponents. But what I'm saying is that there's no attention on Georgia, and that's surprisingly so, because everybody rave about the SEC being the best conference in college football, right? They, in recent years they have won the most championships. Um, we know that ESPN jockeys the SEC. We know CBS jockeys the SEC. So they have a lot of media that's champion their cause. And for Georgia not really being thoroughly recognized for their back-to-back championships, I think that's a misgiving right there. And I don't think that's an oversight. I think that's on purpose so Georgia won't fall under the scrutiny of the media, because sometimes that will have effect on some of the young players. And when you get in these big games, they might not perform up to standard because of so much media, and they get a little nervous, and they because they know everybody's watching and things of that nature. Colorado has embraced it, and other teams have embraced it as well. But Georgia, if you notice, Alabama used to embrace it, but for some reason they're not giving Georgia that same respect, and they didn't give LSU that same respect, nor did they give Tennessee that respect. They only gave Tennessee that respect when Peyton Manning was there, because they didn't give it the same respect when T. Martin became their quarterback and went undefeated. That's something that Peyton Manning failed to do, was go undefeated. Nor did Peyton Manning win a championship in college at Tennessee, but T. Martin did, the black quarterback. He did. He went undefeated, won a championship. The very next season, Peyton Manning got drafted to the NFL, but yet Tennessee really didn't get that publicity. They gave the publicity basically to the University of Florida when that was going on. So I'm trying to figure out why Georgia is not getting some of the lion's share of the media market, because we don't know much about Georgia. And that shouldn't be the case. They should be like really feeding us some Georgia material. I
Well,
even was
they dominated Ball State, and I know they're 2-0 as well. I know. I forget who they beat week one, but I know last week they destroyed Ball State.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we don't hear nothing from Georgia. I was watching some SEC uh conference media, right? Where they
Yep.
just talked about SEC. They mentioned Georgia a little bit, but they were so stuck on Alabama.
Do they have any top recruits for the NFL from Georgia?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I ain't,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to go to the internet looking for Georgia. But
Yeah.
normally you can watch some ESPN, or you just go watch the ESPN2. Basically, was SEC. ESPN2 was SEC, and watch that, or actually go to the SEC network and watch SEC talk. You hear more talk about Alabama and Ole Miss than you do of Georgia, and I find that fascinating. I know Alabama lost, and a lot of people are hurt with Roll Tide, but hell, you still got Georgia. We
Yep.
know LSU got pulverized by Florida State, but you still got Georgia. And they don't want to focus on Georgia for some reason. Why does the corporate press all seem to Coach Prime leaving already? Because Coach Prime is the bag right now. So everybody wants the bag. So they're going to try to pry it away from Colorado. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, Jerry Jones is licking his chops right now. Let Coach McCartney have another bad season and be disappointing. Then Jerry Jones gonna throw whatever he got at Prime. Watch. And listen, Paul Feinbaum was a heavy critic of Prime and his methods. And now Paul Feinbaum, the apostle of Nick Saban, Roll Tide, wants Prime to be Alabama next coach. Can you believe that? Paul Feinbaum, the old man in tie, wants Coach Prime to be Alabama's next coach. He's already putting Coach Prime name in the ballot box. He's trying to throw Nick Saban out on his head
You
and
think
bring
you
in
think
Coach Prime.
you think he gonna take the job? You think Deion gonna take the
Hell
job?
no.
You think he gonna take the job at Alabama State? No,
Hell no. Hell no. He ain't finna coach no Alabama. He'll go to the pros before he do that.
yeah, you try to get a job there.
That's crazy, right? Paul Feinbaum, out of all people, want to pry Coach Prime away from Colorado and put his name in the ballot box for the next head coach of Alabama. He thinks Nick Saban is too old. He's past the time has passed him by, and he want to throw Nick Saban out on his head. Man, isn't that the classic of what have you done for me lately? Mm, mm, mm. Can't believe it. He was the open critic of Deion Sanders.
Well, I know Jason Willock's been going at him too, right?
I mean, we already know Jason Willock is a tool for conservatism. You know, he works for the Blaze. We already know what the Blaze is about. Wasn't that Beck? Something.
Cool.
What his name? Beck. Don't he own the Blaze? He used to work at Fox News. Glenn Beck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's his thing. I think the Blaze is his thing, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember him starting it. I don't know if he still owns it, but I remember Glenn Beck was the one who started it. You know, he's a heavy conservative.
He's the CEO of that. Yeah.
All right, y'all, we're going to get up out of here. We're going to pull back up tomorrow.
Yep.
And thank everybody for tuning in.
What you guys got tomorrow for the
Light Sports TV.
Monday Night Football game?
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.